Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Konvos with Kiki. I'm your host, Kiki. This is a podcast where we're going to have candid conversations. We might laugh a little, cry a little, have some real time revelations, all of those things where we're just going to talk about every topic you can think of. So, thank you for listening. So, you guys already know by now, pull up your drinks. Not sure what you're drinking, but hey, whatever it is, y'all know whatever your drink of choice is. My drink of choice today is Chicken Express. Their sweet tea. Just something about it. I can't pinpoint it, but I love their sweet tea. It's the Southern sweet tea. If y'all know what that means. Southern sweet tea. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna go on to this new segment called Listen. Oh, I'm super excited about this segment. Um, Especially about the post I found today. My cousin actually posted it on Instagram. And when I saw it, I was like, listen, this is so true and so fitting. The post says, my love language is helping you win. Listen, okay? Just listen. My love language is helping you win. Man, if that didn't resonate with me, I don't know what else can, okay? Because that's who I am. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you doing great things. I want to see you win, living in your purpose, living out your potential. That's what I want to see. And if I can help you, I will. Yeah, so that post I find really fitting for today's episode. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the fear of success. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently it is. I guess I'll start off with what I found on psychology today. I had to look this up. And so, um, as a psychologist specializing in trauma and PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, I firsthand experienced coaching clients whose past experience feeds their current fear of success. For them, the excitement of success feels uncomfortably close to the feeling of arousal they experience when subjected to a traumatic event or multiple events. People who have experienced trauma may associate the excitement of success with the same psychological reactions, physiological reactions as trauma. They avoid subjecting themselves to exciting, inducing circumstances, which causes them to be almost phobic about success. So that's one in a whole. What I got from it, success is oddly close enough related to the excitement of success is closely related to the traumatic event that might have happened. Okay, at least that's what I took from it. But then in Psychology Today, they go on to say there is another layer to the fear of success. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that the road to success involves risks, such as getting one's hope up, which threatens to lead to disappointment. Man, that one right there resonated with me. I'm going to repeat that again. There is another layer to the fear of success. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that the road to success involves risk, such as getting one's hopes up, which threatens to lead to disappointment. Okay. And then there's another section of this, and it says, and many of us, especially if we've been subject to verbal abuse, have been told we were losers our whole lives in one way or another. We have internalized the feedback and feel that we don't deserve success. Even those of us who were not abused or otherwise traumatized often associate success with uncomfortable things such as competition and its evil twin, envy. Woo! Okay. Listen, listen, listen. Okay. So this all really came about because of me starting this podcast and me saying that I still don't like to say it. You see what I'm saying? A photographer. Oh, see, it still sounds so weird. This process came about of me thinking, I believe I'm afraid to succeed. Like I think I have a fear of success, and so as I mentioned before, that I'm the type to sit with myself. Let's resonate with this for a little bit. Why am I afraid to say that I'm a photographer? Why am I afraid to say that I'm a podcaster now? Why am I afraid to say these things? Why do I not want to say these things? Um, because I know I have the gifting, the ability, the talent, so to speak, to do these things. So why do I not want to connect with the title, the success that might follow? Why? Just why? Well, I sat with myself. I took some time, looked back to see like maybe where this began for me. I don't know where it might be for you or if it's resonating with you. And I remember back in college, undergrad, my roommate, which is still my best friend, my sister to this day. Hey, girl, hey, you know who you are. I remember her asking me a question. I don't know if it was worded a different way, or maybe she said it in a statement form, but either way, her words were something like this: Kiki, why don't you resonate with the good things that are going on? Meaning, us graduating, great things were happening, but I wasn't like showing any excitement, any emotion towards it. I was just like, okay, yeah, okay. Ain't that's what we supposed to do? Like those, I had that thought of. I mean, just something else to scratch off the list, or this is what we're supposed to do. I had that mindset towards things that I was successful in, or I completed, or challenges that I might have faced, but I overcame. I was just like, yeah, that's just what you're supposed to do. There was no emotional connection to it, right? It was just another event. So now that I'm actually stepping out, doing things, hey, got a podcast, you know what I'm saying? Got my own website that has my photography, all of those things. I realize I'm having a difficult time promoting myself as well, right? And it's like, well, since I'm having a difficult time promoting myself, I really hope y'all can't hear my laundry going on in the background. If you do, my bad. But I'm having a difficult time promoting myself and letting people know what's going on. And I was like, why is that? And I came across the this notion of fear of success. And so I was like, is that really me? So as I was reading these things, I was like, oh my gosh, that is me, especially that second one. Especially that second one. It's almost like I don't want to get my hopes up about something just to be let down. Oh, okay. Okay. That was new. See, revelations are going to come. Okay. But it's true. Like, I don't want to get my hopes up that this will take off and it'll be successful, or my photography will take off and be successful, and all of these things. Or, you know, I've graduated. Great. I did. Getting a job, cool. Like, don't want my hopes to be too high to get a job. What if I don't? Praise God that I do. I'm thankful for it. Been on this job for about 5, 6 years now, and I'm very thankful. Yet, just realizing that I never wanted to get my hopes up. just to be disappointed. So I feared success. I'm working through it now, but I fear anything in my life being successful because to me that means at some point I'm gonna be disappointed. And when I tell you that it also correlates with a tragic, well, I wouldn't say a traumatic event. I wouldn't say that. Well, I guess it would. Well, I guess for a child it would be traumatic. I don't know. But how can I say this? Two things have occurred. Okay, two things. Two. I won't go into full detail. It just is what it is. So let me see if I can keep it brief. Two things would occur. I would be promised something and then look forward to that promise and then was let down as a child. Got super excited. Whoop, I was promised this. That means I'm going to get this. Yes, yes, yes. All of that. And then the promise, I was let down. Which, sidebar, till this day, I won't make promises for that reason. I like to say, let me see what I can do or something. I don't ever say, yeah, I promise I'll be there or I'll show up, or I try not to do that unless I know I can because I've been made promises in the past, in my childhood, and been disappointed every single time. So that was one. The other, I guess, event, so to speak, would be I forgot how young I was, but I was young. But we ended up moving. And when we moved, I guess that would be traumatic for a child. We moved and I no longer saw my friends anymore, those things as a child. And so there was a change. Fast forward to like a few years ago, I don't I wasn't really down for change. Like we not changing around here, okay? You want me to do what? Which goes back to my comfort zone because I don't like change. I excuse me. I didn't like change. Okay? I didn't like it. I have a better relationship with change now, but a few years ago I didn't like it. So, yeah, it was those two things that came to mind. After I sat with myself, did some research about fear of success, was like, well, is this something that has happened in my life that makes me think about this in a whole different way? And so then I went and wrote down, if you're on YouTube, you can see this. I wrote down different events where I was successful in and the emotion I felt behind it. And when I tell you, I was like, oh my gosh, I accomplished a lot. And everything that I accomplished, I made it an excuse for. So, like for instance, um, let's just say purchasing my own car. Okay. I was excited because now I was like, whoo, don't have to ride the bus, don't have to walk anymore. But it I still to this day I'm shocked that I still have a car. Like and I shouldn't be, but I am. I'm thankful every time I open the car door, I'll be like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus!" Like that every time. But not giving myself the credit to be like, "Hey, like you saved your money for this. You did this." Like, of course, through the help of the Lord and His direction. But at the end of the day, like you saved your money. You took the time out. You did the research to figure out what car to get. Not giving myself the credit that, hey, you did something. You did something good. The emotion I felt behind it was, did it still really happen? Like, still shocked that it happened. Um, Another event. Listen, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Being a college graduate, okay, that part. I remember my graduation day. I remember who showed up. I remember the hard work that I did, but never really connected. Like, yo, I'm out of college. Like, I've been out for some years now, but like I have a whole degree sitting on that wall, this wall. You're on YouTube, you can't see it, but it's sitting on the left side of me. Like I have a whole degree, and yeah, no emotion behind it. It was more so of, and that's what you're supposed to do. Like, why should I be happy or excited? I got excited that I was done and didn't have to go back to school anymore. Now I was excited about that because I got tired of studying, reading, doing all those things. I got tired of that part. But the accomplishment, like I wasn't excited about the accomplishment of graduating college because in my head, what I wrote down was, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Okay. I can give you one more. Also, getting promoted at work. Got a couple of those. Not bragging. I'm really not. Mm. But I put it off on, oh, that's nothing but God because I got no experience in what I'm doing. So of course, that's nothing but the Lord putting me in this position. But not get also not giving my I give him credit, obviously, but also not giving myself credit of, hey, I learned this work. I'm learning, I'm getting along with my coworkers. I'm teachable, not giving myself those credits and being successful in the job that I'm doing. And so never connected with it. Now I am like writing these out. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I got a little emotional write some of these out. Man, in a nutshell, I think it's because understanding that fear, for me, the fear of success, for me, brought a lot of change, and it can bring a lot of change. And as I just said earlier, I wasn't a fan of change. And I don't want to, and I don't know if this is me saying I don't know if me saying I find it hard to call myself like a photographer or a podcaster and all of these things, a blogger. um, I don't know if that's part of imposter syndrome. I didn't really look too much into that because when I saw fear of success, I said yes because I I I don't know what it'll bring, and I don't want to be disappointed. It's almost like I'm selling. Oh, oh, Kiki. It's it's almost like I'd rather sell myself short than fully put myself out there. Mm, in all honesty, I'd rather sell myself short and not be hurt or disappointed by what I've done than putting it all out there and then get my hopes all high and then get disappointed. So yeah, there's just a lot of things that I'm still working on. A lot of things I'm still working through. And I think that's part of the reason why I decided to do the podcast. Well, one of the multiple reasons. But as I'm working through things, I know from my experience, there's other people that I connect with who also are working through things. We're always working through something. These cars, my goodness, you would think they would be home. It's ice outside. Anyway, um, so yeah, I personally believe that this podcast is going to, no, I take that back. This podcast has put me in a position to where I'm facing these fears. I'm facing the possibility of being disappointed. I'm facing just everything and literally realizing like, Kiki, you got the talent. You know what to do. Kiki, you gifted, girl. You gifted. Kiki, you smart. Okay, you smart. reminding myself of that. And so yeah, I think it's really, oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Dang, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. That first part of my revelation I didn't get the first time. Of the promises and me being disappointed, that was nowhere in my notes. That was nowhere in my journal. See, now I gotta go sit with that. Listen, this is too much. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a good thing because I do believe that I'm an advocate, me personally. I'm an advocate for healing. I'm an advocate for making sure of wholeness, of wellness, mental health. I'm an advocate for that. I'm an advocate for therapy. I really am. You're a Christian? Yes, I am. And I still think you still can go to therapy. Okay? Just saying, putting that out there. It doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. I really do believe that sometimes you need someone to talk it out to. And therapists are really good at that. They're trained for that. They've gone to 10 plus years of school to do that. Okay? Just saying. So, okay. But yeah, man, that first revelation though, whew, I gotta really sit with that. Like, y'all, I don't want to be disappointed. Let me take you down the thought process of Kiki. I start a podcast. How often do you want to do this podcast? Let's try every Thursday. Every Thursday, I'm gonna put out a podcast. But what if I don't put out a podcast? Now I've disappointed somebody because they're expecting me to put out a podcast. I know what disappointment feels like. So I made a promise, so I got to keep my promise. And because I got to keep my promise, regardless of how tired I am, let me get up and do this. Regardless of what I may be feeling, let me get up and do this because I made a promise. And I remember the promise that I had. I don't want people to be hopeful and I let them down. So let's do this. Or I could just not do the podcast at all. Look, you just gonna get it when I give it to you. I could have that attitude. You just get the podcast when I'm full on ready to give you the podcast. But I also know that's not business. So it's this whole, that's my whole thought process. Plus more. But that's just the gist of it. The gist. I'm talking too fast. That's just the gist of it. And so, and these might be some helpful tips for you guys. If you might fear success, depending on what that might look like for you. For me, it was things that happened in my childhood to where I realized I don't connect with things because I don't want to feel disappointed. So since I don't want to feel disappointed, why connect with something on a level like that or a on a level of excitement, on a level of joy? Why connect with something that I'm just going to be left disappointed? Along with the change of my family moving. And I no longer, we moved out of the state. Like it wasn't a we moved down the street or we moved into a new city. We moved out of the state. So I no longer saw my friends at the time anymore. So that was a little traumatic, just a little. And that's where I'm not too fond of change. Okay, just not too fond of it. So those two things wrap my thoughts about success and how, yeah, I'm better. I know I'm better because I won't be doing this. Okay. If I wasn't better, I would not be here. You would not be hearing me talk on this lovely podcast. Thank you again for listening. So, back to the article on Psychology Today. She goes on to say, in order to have a healthy relationship with success, and its flip side, failure or disappointment, which is so crazy that I'm not afraid of failing. But I guess I'm not afraid of failing because I've been let down so many times before that that's normal. You just learn and grow from it. Just move forward. And that's what I've been taught. When you've been disappointed, you've been let down, don't stay there too long. Just move forward. Literally. Man, why so many revelations in one episode? Okay. In order to have a healthy relationship with success, the first step is to learn the difference between feelings of excitement and a traumatic reaction or a trauma reaction, sorry. The first step is to learn the difference between feelings of excitement and a trauma reaction. So, here's an easy exercise. 1. Recall an event where you were successful or excited when you were younger, and notice what you were feeling and sensing in your memory. Stay with that sensation for 5 minutes. 2. Recall an event where you were successful and excited recently in life, and notice what you are feeling and sensing. Stay with this sensation for 5 minutes. 3. Now tap into the sensation of a memory of an overwhelming situation. I suggest not to start with a truly traumatic event, at least not without a therapist's support. Start with something only moderately disturbing to you. 4. Now go back to visualizing your success story. Do you notice a difference? In this particular article, I will put the article, um, I'll post it on my social media, um, the link to the article so you guys can read it as well, because she gives an example of a young lady in which went through this experiment and how our body responds to fear and excitement. So, towards the end of the article, this particular therapist goes on to say that the physical reactions to stress and to excitement are very similar. So, when we experience a traumatic event, such as a car accident or a school bullying incident, our body associates the fear we experience with the same physiological feelings we get while excited. Once we have gone through enough trauma, we start to avoid those type of situations that trigger memories of fear. For this reason, trauma victims can tend to avoid excitement, and that can lead them to avoid success. Listen, that should have been my listen, okay? Well, you got two of them. We got the first one, now we got the second one. Listen, man, can't even embrace my own success, but I'm so willing to help you succeed, okay? Like, let's do this. But when it comes to me, it's like, hold up now. You're asking for too much. You want too much right there. But not realizing, like, yo, listen. Your body is just associating fear and excitement as the same thing. And it's not. And it's not. But in our minds, we have to notice the difference between those two. So, yeah. Man, that was deep. Okay. I didn't mean to go that deep that quick. You know what I'm saying? Or this whole episode didn't mean to go that deep, but it did. And I think that's okay. So yeah, fear of success. You guys know why I fear success now. I do. I hope that helps someone because look, there's no need to fear success. There's not. I'm still working through it. If you see me on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of them things, you be like, nah, Kiki, girl, come on now. You better accept this. You better be excited about this. You know why if I'm not. It's nothing against anybody but myself and me trying to work through what I'm really excited about, what I'm really excited about, or what I'm really just stressing over. Man, y'all, that was a lot for me. I ain't even gonna hold you. That was a lot for me. And it seems like there's still some things I need to sit on and sit with, especially that exercise. If you feel like you've experienced this and you listen to this and hear the exercise that was given at the end, let me know your thoughts. You can hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All of them are at the Kier with 3 A's. And yeah, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. And so yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, put it in the comments. Oh man, this is different. This YouTube, listen, is different. Okay, it's different, but we gonna make it work. We gonna make it work. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you for listening. I really do appreciate you for listening to me rant, listening to me talk, to the nonsense, I guess, and just hearing my thoughts and getting through the revelations that I be having. So I thank you. I really do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Till next time. Thank you for listening to Konvos with Kiki.